Aloha, it's Robert Stellick with Blue Planet. It's early in the morning, 6:30 here. Sun isn't even out yet, it's still dark. And I'm heading out to the west side to meet my buddies to go foiling. So I've been kind of sick last week. Today's the first day I'm feeling a little bit better, so I'm stoked to get back on the water. And even more stoked because I get to try two new toys today. So one thing is the Nalu Hydrofoil. Kinalu is now making some hydrofoils, and I'm one of the first ones to get a sample to test, so I'm super excited to do that and get some feedback on that. And then the other toy was my Solo Shot 3. I just got it set up a week ago. I haven't had a chance to test it yet, so today hopefully I'll get a chance to test it out. I'll probably make two separate videos out of this, but super excited to try both of those. And yeah, let's go a little bit into the detail about all that stuff. So a lot of people don't know this, but the owner of Nalu Paddles is my buddy Lane Mead. And back in the late 80s, when I was 19 years old, I believe, we lived in Paia. We were housemates. We were, windsurfing bums. Tried to go sail every day we could. And yeah, we lived in this little basement apartment, cheap rent, cool place. Yeah, those were the days. Not much money, but everything else was good. Working in the windsurf industry and so on. So, and then a couple years later, we also ran into each other in Hood River. I lived there for the summer, and Lane was living there. So we ended up being housemates again in Hood River. So, anyway, so I haven't seen Lane for forever, but we've been in touch ever since he started Nalu Paddles, and we got back in touch again. So he lives in Thailand now. He has wife and kids in Thailand, and yeah, he got involved in the Nalu Paddles with Bill Babcock originally. So, but now he's the sole owner. Bill kind of sold out his shares because he's retired and didn't want to work as much as paddle company requires, I guess. But they make really nice paddles, and now they also make hydrofoils. And for the last, I think it's almost been a year, Lane and I have been emailing, communicating about our foil designs. We're both working on foil designs, and Lane has a background in avionics, flying and so on, so he has a good idea about aerodynamics and stuff like that. And we're discussing like the what would work and what wouldn't work. So we both came up with pretty cool designs, I think, and I think his foil looks really nice. The build quality looks really good as well, and really stoked to try it out. So I got the box a few days ago, directly from the factory, and it comes in a nice zippered nylon bag with like foam padding. The set I got had both size foil wings, so it has a small front wing and a bigger front wing, and then two tail wings as well, so back wings and front wings in two different sizes, and then the fuselage and the mast, of course. So before I get more into the foil assembly and all that, let's talk about the foil itself. I think that's why everyone's here. So this was my first wave, kind of a fast takeoff, and like with any gear, it took a couple of takeoffs or a couple of rides for me to kind of get tuned in with the foil. It definitely felt a little bit different than my foil. I think with the V-shaped front wing, it kind of wants to go a little bit rail to rail, which is nice for initiating the turns and so on, but it did feel different than the one I was used to. Luckily, Paul Alvarez was on the beach shooting, so I have some footage from him and my GoPro. All the solo shot footage I got this day, I accidentally erased it. I thought I had it downloaded on my computer. I erased the SD card and it's all gone. So anyway, I do have some footage, and unfortunately this was kind of a pretty short session. I got a bunch of waves. I got a nice feel for the foil, but then I took off in the wrong place, and this has like a really shallow reef shelf that I ran the board into, and it damaged the foil, so I had to get a replacement part. I had to replace the fuselage. So now I have a new fuselage and ready to go out again with it some more. Ready to try all the different foil combinations. So pretty stoked. This is the 775 EVA foil size, and it works really well. Has plenty lift. As you can see, I can ride it even in the really slopey inside break, the rolling waves on the inside. So overall, I'm really stoked on my first try on the foil, and thanks Lane for letting me demo it. I'm stoked to try it out some more. My boards all have Tuttle boxes in them, so I got a Tuttle box adapter. So I had to play around with the Tuttle box adapter a little bit to make it work for my Tuttle box. The adapter is kind of made for those slanted Tuttle boxes that are what they use for windsurf boards and so on. Whereas the one I had is made for kind of a square head Tuttle. It fit into my box just fine. I just had to adjust the screw holes. That the angle of the screws was kind of diagonal where it needs to be straight up. So I just had to like drill out or Dremel out the screw holes a little bit to make it work for my Tuttle box. But it has a really nice tight connection now. And to put together the front and back wings, I just mounted them on the fuselage. The front wing has three screws going into it, and surprisingly tight connection. And then the back wing, you got a couple options. You can put it in a forward or aft position. So, and then there's two different wing sizes too. And then even though I use the bigger front wing, I use the smaller back wing with it. Just looking at my foil, I think I'll be more comfortable with the smaller wing, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But and I also put it in the back position. I find that there's better lateral stability with longer fuselage. Basically, the longer the back wing further back, it seems to help with stability. What's kind of cool too is that with that screw-on system, you can change the angle of the foil. So if you want a little bit more lift or less lift, you can adjust the angle with these little tiny washers that are included that adjust the angle by like half a degree each. So yeah, overall I think the Nalu foils are really well thought out. Very nice design, a lot of adjustability. Being able to change the back wing position and angle and size is kind of a cool feature. And yeah, I'm stoked to be able to try it out and test it some more. Having two wing sizes is definitely nice. Being able to switch out the wing sizes depending on conditions, kind of like having different boards in your quiver. Having different foil sizes is definitely an advantage. So still got some more practicing to do on this foil, but stoked to be able to try lots of different gear. This is where I crashed in the wrong place on takeoff, and then my board went into the reef. But thanks for watching my Nalu review. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. See you next week. Aloha.